Hello and welcome to another session of the My Solo 401k Financial Daily Webinar Series. If you have questions or topics you would like to discuss, please chat those over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. As always, the presentation is being provided for educational purposes only. It should not be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice, nor as a solicitation. When making an investment decision, please consult with your tax attorney and financial professional. Again, welcome to your daily Solo 401k webinar and Q&A session with my Solo 401k Financial, where we help you to stop overpaying taxes and start building real retirement wealth. Today's topic, Schwab Solo 401k, the 12/31 deadline that keeps all your 2025 Solo 401k contributions options open. This is your chance to get answers. Use the chat now to ask questions on today's topic or anything else. Please chat them over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. Let's get started. So let's field some of the initial questions that were chatted up. Our first question here, Mega Backdoor Roth conversion. How do I report a Mega Backdoor Roth conversion after I move money from my after-tax account to a Roth IRA at Schwab? Well, that's a fantastic question, as one of the top reasons that customers set up accounts with us is the ability to make Mega Backdoor Roth Solo 401k contributions. And when you make a Mega Backdoor Roth Solo 401k contribution, you're really going through two steps. You're first making a voluntary after-tax contribution, which needs to go into a separate voluntary after-tax account before the funds are moved from the voluntary after-tax account either to a Roth Solo 401k or to a Roth IRA. So that first step, the voluntary after-tax contribution, does not need to be reported on the personal tax return or the business tax return. But the second step, when the funds are moved from the voluntary after-tax Solo 401k account to your Roth IRA or Roth Solo 401k, that does need to be reported on a Form 1099-R. And the way that customers give us the information that's needed is by submitting a form on our website. So you can submit the information at mysolo401k.net/forms. Just choose the form for after-tax to Roth IRA transfers. And as long as the information is provided in a timely fashion, we'll prepare the 1099-R as an optional free service. In other words, no additional charge. Great question. Thank you so much for bringing it. And again, if there are other questions or other topics that you want to discuss as we go through these slides, please chat them over now so that we can be sure to get to them all. So let's start out with the foundation of who's eligible for a solo 401k. Well, a solo 401k is for an owner-only business. So a self-employed individual with no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees is eligible to set up a solo 401k. So as you can see, there's really two elements or two prongs of the eligibility criteria, and both elements need to be met. Both elements need to be there in order to be eligible to set up a solo 401k. The first element, the first requirement is that you're self-employed. And the way that you demonstrate that is by reporting earned self-employment income on your taxes. For example, if your business is taxed as a sole proprietorship, it could be a single member LLC, taxed as a sole proprietorship. Earned self-employment income is income that's reported on line 31 of Schedule C. Whereas if your business is taxed as an S Corp or a C Corp, earned self-employment income is income that's reported on a W-2 that you receive from the S Corp or the C Corp. Lastly, if your business is taxed as a partnership, earned self-employment income would be income reported on line 14 of the K-1 that you receive from the business taxed as a partnership, the business that files a 1065 partnership tax return. Now, the other side of the equation, the other requirement in order to be eligible for a solo 401k is that you cannot have any non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees. So a full-time W-2 employee is someone that works 1,000 hours per year with 1 year of service, or 500 hours per year for 2 consecutive years. Now, your spouse could be working in the business, you could be working in the business, another owner, as long as they're at least a 3% or more owner, could be working in the business as a W-2 employee and you would still be eligible. The key is that you cannot have any non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. So that would allow you to still have contractors or, again, other owners or spouse that's working in the business. It's also noteworthy that you can have a regular job and have a solo 401k for your side business, for your side hustle, as long as you meet the eligibility criteria with respect to the side hustle. In other words, you're reporting earned self-employment income, and there are no non-owner, non-spouse, full-time W-2 employees working for any business owned by you or a spouse, if any. So that's what allows you to set up a solo 401k. Now, the critical solo 401k establishment deadline that will allow you to keep all your solo 401k options open is December 31st. So as long as you establish the plan by December 31st, 2025, that'll preserve the ability to make all types of contributions for 2025, whether employee, employer, or voluntary after tax by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension. So all you need to do is sign up on the website, mysolo401k.net. Just click on open account, then click on solo 401k, get started. That'll take you to the quick 1-minute application. As long as you submit the application and make payment by December 31st, 2025, that'll establish the plan because we'll put it in place within the same business day. Now, what you don't need to do by the end of the year is you don't need to open the account. So, for example, we are a 401k plan provider. We have an IRS approved plan, meaning we have IRS approved plan documents that we will use to establish the plan for your business. And then clients will use our documents to open up accounts at the bank or brokerage of choice. One of the top options is Schwab. So what we're talking about here is not opening up a Schwab Solo 401k directly with Schwab. Instead, you establish the Solo 401k plan with my Solo 401k Financial, and then we'll help you open up accounts at Schwab. So Schwab has their own vanilla plan, but it's not going to come with the advanced features like the ability to make Mega Backdoor Roth Solo 401k contributions, or the ability to take a 401k loan, or the ability to invest in alternative investments. It's not going to make the self-employed business eligible to claim the $1,500 in tax credits, all the features that are available with the plan offered by my solo 401k. So Schwab's vanilla plan does not come with those features. But at the same time, Schwab will open up accounts for a third-party plan that does. Now, if you want to keep all your solo 401k options open for 2025, where you can make all types of contributions for 2025 by the business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension in 2026, as well as have your solo 401k accounts at Schwab, you can definitely do that. Schwab is one of the most popular options for our clients. But the key takeaway in terms of the solo 401k deadline is that you do not need to open those accounts up at Schwab. You can take your time to open up the accounts, to determine how much you're going to contribute, to fund those accounts, to make those contributions by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension, as long as you set up the plan by the end of the year. So you don't need to open up the accounts. You don't need to obtain the EIN number for the solo 401k. You don't need to fund the account by the end of the year. So you can focus on the paperwork because that's what establishes the plan. A 401k plan is a legal entity. It's a retirement trust. So like any legal entity, it's the documents that create it. So we make it easy to meet the deadline because we will establish the plan. We'll put it in place within the same business day when someone signs up. So many solopreneurs stress about getting the brokerage account open before the ball drops on New Year's Eve. This is not necessary. You can focus on the paperwork first. Your only priority is ensuring the plan documents are in place by December 31st, 2025. Everything else can wait until 2026. So it's a seamless two-step process with my solo 401k. We will generate the IRS approved plan documents within the same business day. So all you need to do is sign up by December 31st and you'll meet the deadline. That'll allow you to take your time and fund the accounts by the 2025 business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension in 2026. And when you're ready to open up those accounts, when you're ready to fund those accounts, we'll guide you through the process step by step. So how does the process work? Well, let's go over it at a high level, and then we'll dive into the process a little bit deeper. So step one is to complete the online application and make payment. Once the application is submitted and payment is made, we draft the Solo 401k plan documents within the same business day. We send you an email with a link to our secure portal where you can download the documents, you can sign the documents, and then you can take your time to return the completed and signed pages and let us know where you want to open up the accounts, including at Schwab. That's one of the most popular options. So just by simply taking those 3 steps, you're going to keep all your solo 401k options open for 2025. You're going to be able to make all types of contributions, whether employee, employer, or voluntary after tax, by your 2025 business tax return deadline, including any time we file the extension in 2026. So again, let's go through those steps a little bit within a little bit more detail. So the starting place to help us understand is that a 401k is a legal entity. So like any legal entity, it's the documents that create the plan. So we have IRS approved plan documents that we use to create the solo 401k plan for our client's business. So we have an online application, which is a quick 1-minute application that we use to capture the information that's needed to create the plan documents specifically for your business. So you first want to complete that online application that you can do quickly and easily at mysolo401k.net. Click on Open Account, then click on Get Started under Solo 401k. Once you submit the application and payment is made, we'll prepare the plan documents within the same business day. So these are all the documents that are needed to establish the plan. So for example, an adoption agreement, a trust agreement. We provide you a copy of the IRS favorable determination letter that confirms that the plan is a qualified plan, among other documents that are needed to establish the plan. So in that email that goes out within the same business day when someone signs up, there's going to be number one, a download link where you have access to our secure document portal where you can download the documents that were drafted specifically for your business. Then you can sign the documents. You can use electronic signature software to sign the documents. You don't have to return the documents by the end of the year. But when you're ready to open up the accounts, that'll be the next steps. So at that point, you've met the deadline. You signed up. That's all that's needed to meet the deadline, is to submit the application and make payment, because then we'll put the documents in place within the same business day. You can take your time to open up the accounts. Now, when you're ready to open up those accounts, which could be in 2025, you don't have to wait until 2026, but now you've got the options open. When you're ready to open up the accounts, whether now in 2025 or in 2026, you want to return the completed and signed pages. So remember, we prepare the documents that are needed to establish the plan. We send an email with a link to our secure portal where you can download the documents that were drafted specifically for your business. You can use electronic signature software if you have that on your computer to sign the documents. You return those completed and signed pages. You also submit the next steps questionnaire. So in that same email, there's going to be a secure upload. There's also going to be a link to our next steps questionnaire, which is how clients let us know where they want to open up the accounts. So we are totally neutral as far as where the accounts are opened up at. We've helped clients open up accounts at hundreds of different banks, different credit unions, different brokerages like Fidelity and Schwab. So for example, if you want Schwab, you would choose Schwab when you're returning those completed and signed pages from the drop down on the next steps questionnaire. So once we receive the completed and signed pages, the response to the next steps questionnaire, we obtain an EIN number from the IRS specifically for the Solo 401k. So that EIN number is the IRS expectation. The IRS expects that an EIN number is obtained for the Solo 401k. And then that EIN number is used to open up the accounts for the Solo 401k. So if you choose Schwab, we'll prepare the paperwork that Schwab requires to open up a brokerage account for a third-party plan. That EIN number will be listed on the application so that Schwab opens up the account under the EIN number of the plan. Once the accounts are opened up, so in the case of Schwab, another email goes out with a link to the secure portal where you can download the pre-filled application to open the requisite number of accounts at Schwab. You'll then be able to return the completed and signed application via the secure upload. We will then review and compile and then fax the application to Schwab's back office. Then you will receive an email from Schwab once the accounts are open. Once the accounts are open, you can fund them right away. You can fund them by either making contributions, and we field questions every day from our customers in terms of educating our customers as far as those contribution limits, how much they can contribute, the deadline, the process. In addition, you can fund the accounts by rolling money over from a existing retirement account, such as a former employer plan or a non-Roth IRA. So we'll also guide you through the transfer process. We've helped customers transfer funds from hundreds of different institutions, and we've tracked that knowledge in our knowledge base to make it easier for you. So for example, if you're transferring funds from a former employer plan at Fidelity versus an IRA at Vanguard, we know how that works, and we'll pre-fill the paperwork that's needed, et cetera, to guide you through that rollover process. So some of the frequently asked questions around the December 31st deadline: what do I have to do by December 31st? Again, you need to establish the plan. How do you establish the plan? It's the documents. We put the plan in place. We put the plan documents in place within the same business day. So all you need to do is sign up by the end of the year, and that'll allow you to take your time to open up accounts, to make contributions, by your business tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension in 2026. Do I have to open the bank or brokerage account by December 31st, 2025? No, you don't. All you need to do is sign up by the end of the year, and that'll keep all your solo 401k options open for 2025. Do I have to obtain an employer identification number by December 31st, 2025? No, you don't. The EIN number will be needed to establish the accounts, but that's part of the account opening process. So that can occur next year in 2026. Is the tax return deadline my personal tax return deadline or my self-employed business tax return deadline? It's your self-employed business tax return deadline. So for example, if your business is taxed as an S corporation, it's going to be March 16th of 2026 or September 15th of 2026, as long as you file a timely extension for your 1120S, for your S corporation tax return. If I adopt the plan in December 2025, how can I make contributions based on income that I earned in January 2025? Well, the industry best practice and the practice that we follow is for the plan to be effective as of January 1st, 2025. So that means that any income that you earn and report for 2025 can be used to justify contributions to the plan that you establish even in December of 2025. My CPA tax advisor is informing me that employee contributions must be made by December 31st, 2025. Are you sure that I can make this contribution in 2026? This is a common point of confusion, as employee contributions for a full-time employer plan, such as one that you might have through a day job, must be made by the end of the year. But the rules are different for solo 401k plans. The rules are different for self-employed individuals. And this is clear per IRS publication 560, which clearly states that both employee and employer contributions can be made anytime up until the tax return deadline, including any timely filed extension, as long as the plan is established by the end of the year. Okay, wonderful. That takes us to the end of the slides that we wanted to share. Thank you so much for joining. If there are questions, more questions, please chat them over now so that we can be sure to get to them. We do want to invite you to our community, mysolo401k.net/my community. It's the largest community of solopreneurs, solo 401k owners around these solo 401k topics. We have over 30,000 members. So that translates to vibrant forums. There's a library of videos and webinars. So that means there's a ton of ways to learn. There's a ton of ways to share the knowledge, and it's totally free to join. All are welcome. It's not just limited to clients or advisors. Really, any interested party can join, and you can join quickly and easily at mysolo401k.net/my community. So please don't hesitate to join. If this information is helping you feel more confident about your future, please take 1 second to like and subscribe. Liking will tell the platform that the content is valuable, which will help other solopreneurs, other advisors like you, find it. Subscribing guarantees you get notifications of all of our crucial content that we deliver every day to help you secure your retirement. It looks like that's it for today's Solo 401k session. Thank you so much for investing your time with us. Your time is valuable and your retirement future is worth it. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe so we can keep building this community. We'll be back here tomorrow with more crucial content to help you secure your retirement.